and welcome to Living Karma Yoga. This is a program that brings you all that the yoga community and the yoga world has to offer, from asana, which is posture, to pranayama, which are specific breathing techniques to help you manage your energy, to help us manage our energy, to meditation, mudras, which are hand position that channel energy in very specific directions, to I've forgotten my script. Anyway, it brings you everything that you need to take your yoga off the mat and into your lives, which is really where the yoga takes place. We learn a lot of things in the classroom, but we need to take them into our lives to become more equanimous, to become more prosperous and healthy, body, mind, and spirit, and that's what yoga's about. My guest today is Jason Blackman. And Jason's a healer and a teacher with nearly 35 years of experience in the holistic health and medical fields. He's dedicated to helping people overcome trauma and develop their unique, creative, and intuitive gifts. He has over a decade's service as a paramedic with the Detroit Fire Department, as well as in the emergency and orthopedic departments of Detroit's top trauma centers. He brings a wealth of clinical experience and knowledge to his practice. He's traveled extensively throughout the world and learned the traditional healing arts from many gifted teachers. He's made Thailand his home since 2004 and offers personal sessions, training, and workshops at resorts and healing centers in Thailand and on a global scale. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you, Nancy. Hello,
welcome.
everybody.
And tell us a little bit about five-element theory and anything else you would like us and the audience at home to know about the techniques that you're going to be presenting so that we can be settled into the meditative state.
Okay, great. This practice is one that was taught to me when I was 15, 16 years old. A teacher from Thailand actually came here, Master Mantak Chia came, and I did a series of workshops with him. This is one of the practices that I took from that and has kind of stayed with me through my entire life. Mm-hmm. It's something that I use a lot in my personal practice when I do healing work with people as well. The 5 elements is pretty much the basis of almost every medical, every scientific, every esoteric discipline that there is. Some cultures use 4 elements. Some people have maybe a different understanding of what they are. This is the way it was taught to me. I don't think any of them are wrong.
Okay.
I think that it's what resonates with you more than anything. This is what I've learned, and this is what kind of resonates with me. Everything in nature, everything in life really does fit into one of these 5 categories. Emotionally, you could use it in an archetypal way as well, but the way that I understand it, the 5 elements in this practice are dealing with fire energy, we're dealing with earth energy, we're dealing with metal energy, with water, and with wood. And there's a cycle of nourishment where they nourish one another, and there's a cycle where they maybe block one another as well. So the way that I use this practice is for my own self. Oops, covering my mic. Sure. For my own self, I use it throughout the day. And I like to teach practices that are really practical for people to use. Most meditative practices, most yoga practices were designed really with the intention of people who live in a monastery, people who are monks and nuns, and they don't have to deal with the stresses of life, with traffic, with deadlines, with all these sorts of things. So for most people, when they go to begin a meditation practice, they have all of this around them. They have all this chaotic energy. And if any of you have tried to do a meditation practice before, what usually happens is you think you're going to get really spiritual and calm, and instead you start fidgeting and you start scratching, and you want to be anywhere but where you actually are. So just like any kind of physical practice, any kind of physical exercise, I try to make it work. So if you tried to do 300 sit-ups and hadn't done them in a long time, you probably won't make it, and the next day you'll be so sore that you won't keep it going. I think meditation practice is a lot like this. So for me, this practice is something that we can all use to sort of build gradually, step by step, and start to actually develop a practice of mindfulness. And what does that do? What are the benefits of that? Well, I think most people want to be happier. Most people want their lives to flow in a better way. They want to do better in their relationships, in their work, in everything that they share with the world. And I think this is just one of the great ways to do that. I like the idea of being able to go in and out of sort of a meditative state all the time. I don't think mindfulness is something that should stop with your practice, you call it on the mat, or while you're actually meditating. It's something that we should bring into our lives, to all aspects of our lives.
Which is why Catherine gave the studio Karma. It's basically taking yoga off the mat and taking the practices into the daily life.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be teaching there.
Good.
I've been enjoying my time here
Good.
in Detroit. And one of the fun practices that I like to do that I think is great for everybody, and we have a little group today, and I'm really happy you guys are here. Thank you. One of my favorite ways to start, just shake out for a minute, roll your shoulders around. And close your eyes. Smile, take a deep breath, just, and hold it, and let it go. Smile again, big breath in. And let it go. One more time, actually physically smile. And let it go. And open your eyes, come right back to here. So this practice is something you can do all day long. When you catch yourself stuck, when you catch yourself too much in your mind and the thoughts are going and going and going and you can't seem to get out of it, or you catch yourself and you're clinched up, feeling defensive, or you're squeezing your jaw, or you catch yourself being hypercritical of yourself or other people, this is a great reset. There's no fire and brimstone. The earth isn't going to split open from it. But what happens is it gives you that chance to step back from the thoughts, from the emotions, and maybe find a different way to move through it. So I suggest doing that to everybody all the time. And probably if you start catching yourself when you're clinching, you'll probably have to do it about every 10 or 15 minutes throughout the day. and this is, but again, if you do it every 10 or 15 minutes throughout the day, by the end of the day, you probably have about 20 or 30 minutes of meditation time built up cumulatively. And I think that this is a really good way to begin any kind of a practice. As for what those elements are, I'll just talk about what I know. In the body...
Away from your microphone.
Away from the microphone, yeah, sorry. Again, I'd like to say every physical force that affects the physical body is also affecting us on every other level. All of our chakras are always open, they're always working. So we think of physical force as only affecting us physically, but if you take a force such as gravity, we all know how it affects our physical body, but intuitively we also know that what it's like to have heavy thoughts. We know what it's like to be lighthearted. And the difference of these things. Every physical force affects us on every level. So our physical body actually does create the emotional body, and so on. So if we can start to clear it and become more aware, maybe we can handle our emotions in a better way. Maybe we can flow through life in a better way. But through regular practice, it does get better. Mm-hmm. And this is just something that I've witnessed over many years of practice. The elements that we use in this begin with fire. There's a relationship between fire and summertime. In the body, it's in our heart and our small intestines, and it's the fiery processes of the body. Emotionally, obviously hard energy is really easy. It's passionate, it's alive, it's joyful, it's sharing. Us sharing at our most happiest best time in life? What do we have to share? What do we have to give? Conversely, it's also our drive and our need to go and do and improve. This can become really heated. It can be really hot. And we tend to get very impatient and intolerant and hypercritical with the people in our lives and with life. So one of the things that we can do, well, I'll get into that in a moment. Fire traditionally nourishes the earth. If you're a farmer, if you're a forest, you know how that works. Earth energy in the body is in the spleen, it's in the stomach and the pancreas. And these energies, it also deals with late summer. In Michigan, we call it Indian summer or late summer. And that summer season is a season of abundance. It's a season where there's everything and all the veggies in the garden are ripe, and there's apples in the trees, and the wheat fields are golden, and there's sunflowers. It's this yellowy color. It's really abundant in nature. In our bodies, it deals with balance and equanimity. It deals with our ability with our sense of faith and trust in life and how we perceive it. Conversely, it can also deal with anxiety and worry. So when our hearts are really hot, what will happen is we become really anxious. How are we ever going to maintain this? How are we ever going to live up to this? So that's earth energy. And from the earth, we get metals. We also get crystals, gems. We get petroleum products. We get power. So this is what comes out of the earth. In nature, this is the season of autumn, but it's also in the body. It's our lungs and our large intestines. It's dealing with being able to transmute, or sort of an alchemical process of bringing air into our body and changing it into energy, and getting rid of our waste. Emotionally, this deals with courage. This deals with our ability to, before you jump off the high dive, you're always going to take a deep breath and build your courage up. That courage, this is also our integrity, our sense of what's right and what's wrong, our righteousness, our honor, integrity, goodness. Conversely, on the other side, we're dealing with a lot of sadness and grief in the lungs. And the metal in nature is what also purifies water. So water in the body is going to be in the kidneys. And kidney energy, it's not just the kidneys, kidney, bladder, sex organs, these things are all together within the water element. And it deals with our ability to flow, just like water. Our ability to let go and let whatever forces are acting on us move in their way, instead of fighting against things. And when we get blocked up with the flow, usually the things that block it up in our body is going to be fear. It's also our adrenal glands are right over our kidneys. So it's fear and shame and guilt that can get in the way of the flow, the smooth flow of life. And water doesn't always just flow downwards. Sometimes it moves up as steam or mist. Sometimes it's ice, depending on what's going on. How can we flow with the circumstances of life? And this water, just like wintertime moves to spring, water in the body is what nourishes wood. And it's not just the wood that we use to make things like floors. This is the wood that we use to make trees and flowers and grasses and plants and everything in nature that grows. In our body, it's in our liver and our gallbladder, but it's also in our peripheral nervous system. And it's in our hair and our nails, our nerves. These are things that are always growing, always regenerating, revitalizing. The liver's always regenerating itself. It's an amazing system in our body. Emotionally, this is dealing with love. It's dealing with kindness, with compassion, with wanting to helpness, but it's also our most basic creative energy in the world. What do we have to share? What do we want to teach with the world? And this is the beginning of love and compassion here. It's also anger and frustration, enviousness, rage, jealousy, and these sorts of things that get stuck. And most of us never have a really good outlet for these things. Most of us are really too embarrassed to ever talk about these things even, or even admit that we have them, because it would somehow mean that we're maybe not spiritual or maybe not good enough. And I think coming to a place where we're okay with this part of who we are, so that wood energy that's in here, it becomes fuel for the heart fire. So
it's circular.
It's circular.
It's circular.
In that sense, it's circular. There's also another pattern where things restrain one another. I won't get too much into that here.
No, because we have about 10 minutes left.
Okay, so we'll get into a really quick practice. I'm sorry, I went on
That's
too
okay.
long.
That's
Sorry.
why I'm here.
Good. Thanks, Nancy.
Sure.
All right, so we just start into a practice.
Yes.
Okay. Get comfortable. Get really grounded down. Just ground into your body. Actually, why don't you wave your spines a little bit? Just come on down and come on up. Just get the flow going in your body. Just a little bit. Good. Come back up, roll your shoulders, ground in. Close your eyes, go into your breath. Actually feel yourself smiling with your eyes first. Feel it right in your third eye, just smile. It can be an inner smile. This is something you can do anytime. If you don't want people to see you smiling externally, smile inside. And bring your hands up to your heart, your actual physical heart on the left side. And I don't want to rub my chest because of the microphone, but you might want to rub in a little bit of a circle and smile into your heart. Bring that smile in. Bring a sense of joy right into, bring a sense of joy into your heart. Joyousness, happiness. You at your best when you're sharing all the gifts that you have with the world. Might want to visualize red light coming into your heart. Great. Breathe into your blood. Let your blood pick up that smile and take it to every cell in your body. Visualize your small intestines and all of the nutrients coming out of your food as they go into your body and into your life. Bring a sense of joy and love into it. And also find the place inside of you where it's too hot, where there's impatience and intolerance, where there's this need to control. And smile into it, soften it just a little bit, cool it down. Great. And back into a sense of joy. Breathe it in. Well, normally I would spend a lot more time on each one, but I want you now, this is what nourishes our earth. So drop your hands down to your abdomen under the ribs on the left side, to your spleen and stomach and pancreas, and smile in. Breathe in a golden light. Maybe you want to massage a little bit as you go through. Smile in a sense of balance and equanimity. Breathe in a sense of, remind yourself that you trust life and the wisdom of life. And just smile in this sense of balance, emotionally, physically, and on every level. Our self-esteem as well, balanced sense of self-esteem. And what do you have to give to the world? What do you have to share? And in any places where there's anxiety or worry in your body, can you breathe into those spots? Can you breathe into the places that are stuck? When worry comes in, where does it affect you? Breathe into it, smile into it, give it a little space. Golden light, yellow light. Breathe it into your immune system. Breathe it into your lymphatic system. Smile into your white blood cells. These are the guys who are always protecting us. We never say thank you. We never develop this relationship in our body. Smile into your white blood cells and your immune system and thank them for protecting you. And breathe into the worry and anxiety and send it down into the earth to a place where it can harm no one. Just like that. And again, breathe in a sense of balance, of harmony, of equanimity. Good. And again, we're going to move our sense of awareness up, because from the earth we get metal. So breathe up into your lungs. You might want to lift your hands to your upper chest. Smile into your lungs. Breathe in a metallic colored light. Actually smile. Move the corners of your lips up just a bit. And breathe in this beautiful metallic light. Take a breath in that just brings in courage. A sense of courage, of honor, integrity, of goodness, your righteousness. What do you have to fight for? Smile in, get big inside. And into the large intestines as well. You might want to rub your hand around your belly a little bit. It's really good to take an anatomy class if you start doing this and learn about where these bits are in our body. So smile in this metallic light. It's the ability to be able to let go of the things that don't serve us. The courage to go into the things we do. Take a great big deep breath that just says, you know what, I can handle life. I can handle the things that come. I can look at what life shows me, whether it's beautiful or ugly, and I can move with it and do what I need to do. This is our sense of integrity. Breathe that in again. Courage. It's kind of like the superhero inside us all. And then breathe into the sadness. Breathe into the grief that's stuck in our bodies. Some of it's really beautiful. It doesn't need to leave. It comes from losing somebody that you love. It's okay. But just take a breath into it and honor it a little bit. Right now we're not trying to change it. Just to acknowledge it. That we have the courage to face it. Because I talked so much, I'm going to have to rush through this. Sorry. Take a couple more breaths in, smiling in. One more great big deep breath and hold it. And soften down into your kidneys. Maybe you want to bring your hands to your back body, your lower back, or in front. Massage here a little bit. Smile into your kidneys. This is developing a great connection between your brain and your kidneys, your minds and our kidneys. Smile into it. Breathe in the ability of flow. Breathe in the ability to flow and to just move with everything and let go. Just to be able to flow with life. And wherever there's fear, wherever there's shame or guilt that's stuck in your bodies, I want you to kind of breathe into it and let it release. Give it a little bit of space to move. You can breathe this watery light up through your bones and your bone marrow, up your spine into your brain. Good. Smile in one more time. Big breath into your kidneys, adrenal glands, into your sex organs. And use that water energy. This is water. Move it up into the liver, upper right abdomen, under the rib cage. Smile into your liver. Springtime. Breathe in green light. As if there was a tree, a whole forest growing right in your liver and gallbladder. Smile in. Breathe in a sense of love, compassion, and kindness, creativity, beauty. Release whatever anger, whatever resentments are there, whatever's blocking that flow of love, because this is the wood energy that nourishes the heart. Good. And breathe that up into the heart center now, as if there was a green light right in the center of your chest, like a sun. Breathe in love and kindness and sharing with other people. Send that love and kindness out around you, through your body. Send it back through the generations in your family.
I need a minute.
Okay, I'm done. Send it forward to future generations, through the world, and then condense it back down. Bring it right back down into your belly, to your lower belly, under your navel. Let it swirl and gather here.
And thank you, Jason. You can leave it here, and you're welcome at home to continue to close your eyes. But I want to thank everybody, Jason, Bloomfield Community Television, you at home for tuning in. And if you would like to know more about us, karma-yoga.net. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nancy. Yep. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys. Sorry.
May the